Welcome. This is a Between Brothers podcast where we bring you real talk on all things sports, pop culture, and life. I'm your host, the Duke of the Bananas, Lando in the building. I got my older brother, Zero, who I call the Chancellor of Charisma, in the building. What's going on, Zero? How was your week?
All right, so the week was pretty okay. Um, well, it was pretty busy. Monday, doctor's appointment for Jelly Ball. Tuesday, we had the morning meeting. Yeah, Tuesday we had the morning meeting. Wednesday, called out for um Jelly Ball and Jigglypuff's um dentist appointment. Yeah, Jigglypuff got her chip tooth fixed. It took about not even 10 it took not even about 10 minutes. It took me longer to do the paperwork than it took them to mold and to mold the putty to her teeth. But now she can't just take a bite into apples. Now she has to get them they said if it chips off they'll have to do it again. But what's it called? So she has to anything like hard that she has to bite into, she'll have to she'll have to get slices of apple and then bite into it that way rather than just biting into the whole thing. Um, and then Thursday came around, and Thursday I was fine. And then it got around 4 o'clock, and I got this massive migraine, and it started making me dizzy. And what sucked is that I was in Virginia Beach, so I had to drive all the way back to Norfolk, feeling dizzy in rush hour traffic. And then I barely got any sleep. Then Friday I go get some Excedrin, and then I'm fine. I was like, if I would have just got Excedrin on Thursday, I probably would have been good because I was down the street from 7-Eleven, but I wasn't thinking about it. I was only thinking about trying to finish the job. And I still this headache has been slight, but I still have the headache from Thursday. It's just not as bad as when it happened on Thursday. Then I watched my Jaguars get the asses handed to them, cleaned out the truck, um, played catch with the kids, and sliced my thumb open in the shower today. It was like I just wanted to shave. I didn't even get to do that. It was like, yeah, I just bled. But and it still hurts, but it's like it is what it is. There's nothing more I can do about it. But it'll heal. I think the nastiest thing about the thing that hurt worse about the cut than anything, because like you feel it because how deep it was, but I was good until the hot water hit my damn thumb. I was like, that was the worst pain I've ever felt. Like it's like hot water hitting my thumb pissed me off more than anything else. But yeah, That was my week in a nutshell.
Um, well, heal up, get your hands right. My hands, on the other hand, are my left hand, particularly. Like, I don't know what I was. I don't know what I did. I was doing. So at my house, I have like a side door that leads to the backyard, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do the backyard real grande, and put something together so that way, we don't have to keep taking doing like every event at the in-laws house because of their backyard, because we actually got um, a lot of yard space. Front, we got a big front lawn, side lawn is huge, backyard is pretty big. And so it's like, we shouldn't have to do everything there. Especially Cocoa Puff's birthday party, like there wasn't no parking. And, because they're very limited because they live on a main road. So they can't just like park, people can't just park in front of the house. So, so while we could probably park in front of our house a dozen cars, that's just in the front of the house, not even counting like you could accommodate people parking on the grass or across the street in front of the neighbors' houses, because everybody parks in front of my house. So if anybody ever complain to us about parking in front of their house, then we gonna have a word or two. Meaning I'm going off on them. But yeah, so I was doing that, and my left hand now, like I usually when I like go to my phone to text, if I do, I'm right-handed, but if I do the one-hand text boy, for some reason I generally do it left-handed. But right now, like my left hand is so shaky, I can't text, and I don't know. So I dug up the ground, and my hand still hurts. So I got up about 7 something this morning, got to it, got active, pretty much immediately. Was outside by like 8. I don't even think it was 8. I don't even think it was that late. Um, and and normally I don't sleep that late, but I really didn't sleep that late. Cocoa Puff came into the bed at about 2:40 in the morning, and she just kept kicking me. So I was just like, I'm gonna go into the other room um, until I get tired, and I didn't go back to sleep till like 5:40 because my alarm goes off at 5:30 on Sundays. So I'm like, oh dang! So I just said, I was like, and I still hadn't gone to sleep. So I was like, well, I ain't got no plans. I should get up before church, but then when I did get up, Duchess was like, yeah, ain't nobody awake. So and it's already too late. So I was like, all right, whatever. But anyways, I digress. Was doing that, got some pavers, about to put some of those down, but then I realized that I didn't follow the please excuse my dear Aunt Sally when it comes to doing that stuff. So I'm not gonna start over again. I'm just gonna because I already laid the foundation for that portion of it, but for the rest of it. But yeah, I had to dig, cultivate, sand, level, and I had to. So the prior owners of the house, they had like a above ground pool, And so I guess they like trying to make like some makeshift pathway, but when we moved there, it was already covered up with grass. So I guess they weren't really using this thing. So I was digging up stone after stone after stone of this pathetic job they did of putting a walkway there. Every time I do something to the house, I curse these people. Every single time. Because these people are the dumbest people. I remember I had to do it. Try to put up a new ceiling fan. They put you need a special like outlet box for a ceiling fan.
Mhm.
They put a wall outlet box for the ceiling fan. So like when we would like turn on the ceiling fan, we could only turn on low because the thing was like wild shaky. We just didn't know why. It was
Mhm.
because they just didn't want to spend $14 for the right tool. I'm like, you guys are like, we never met them, but if I ever did, I'd kick them right in the damn chest twice, steak meter style.
You just got kicked in your chest. You ain't a dick, nigga. You ain't a dick.
And um, so yeah, so that was my whole day. I did that from like 7 to about 4:30. I took a break to eat some food. I didn't catch any football today. I was listening to the Jaguars game. That was pathetic. And I was listening to the Jets game, which was even more pathetic. Because now that the defense is like, I'm glad that the defense is finally showing up. Because now that the defense is showing up and we're still losing, they can't say it ain't the Jets fans are starting to smarten up and come over to my side. It took them forever to do it with Aaron Rodgers last year, and they took them too long to do it with Justin Fields this year. But I still haven't gotten no apologies from anybody. But they starting to come around.
Yo, you're never gonna get an apology, so stop saying it.
You know something funny? And we'll get to it. Today's gonna be the All NBA show, but the Duchess was talking to me about songs. Oh shoot. Um, she was like, which this wasn't one of the songs that we had mentioned, but we were talking about Dirty Mackin songs last week, and she mentioned the song "I Belong to You," and he's like, tell me what's going on. And he pauses and then says, with your boyfriend. And so she was talking about that. I was like, yeah. And then she started talking about Carl Thomas, which I think you had mentioned on the podcast last week.
Mhm.
But then I started thinking about the song Emotional because I did mention it, but I thought of the song, and there's this one part of that song that makes me laugh every single time. And it's towards the end when he goes, I'm emotional. Um, and then out of nowhere, he just says, look at me. I can't stop crying. Why did you say that? Who
Look at
was he
me.
talking to? He just out of nowhere. Look at me. I can't stop crying. I was in
You
hysterics.
know what? He he that line right there inspired folks on social media when they start recording themselves crying. He inspired that with that
Bro,
one line.
my man just out of nowhere. Look at me. I can't stop. I remember Coco Puff used to do that. She used to announce that she was crying. Like she would be like, Daddy, like she'll like, let's say she like cut her foot or something like that. She'd be like, Daddy, I'm crying because I cut my foot. I'm like, why you have to tell us you're crying? We can see you crying.
Why don't you say you cut your foot? Look at me.
But anyways, we got a decent episode for y'all today. With these NBA, the NBA season. The NBA season would have played its first games by the time this comes out, because this will come out the day after. But we're recording on the Sunday, as we do every Sunday. So some of the stuff you're going to hear, they are predictions. So this is because we don't know what's going to happen in the season. So the NBA, first of all, is back on NBC. I hope they keep the music that they had back in the 90s.
The greatest.
The greatest. The greatest. You know what I'm saying? That, if I can get that in Return of the Mac on NBA 2K27, this season would be complete. So, and the issue is, it might get to the point where I may have to get rid of cable. And the reason why is because like almost nothing is being shown on cable. Right? Everything is streaming service.
Yeah.
To the point now where it's like, if you got to pick one or the other, because everybody. But I don't necessarily care to have a whole bunch of streaming services. Like I had the Disney bundle, Netflix, Amazon Prime, Apple TV. And even that's getting like ridiculous. I feel like I got 3 too many. So like I know they're gonna be showing games on Peacock and all kinds of stuff, but it's starting to get more and more difficult to watch sports for people who just have traditional cable like I do. So it's just like, dang, like soon you're just gonna have to go all streaming and YouTube TV and all that stuff. So it's unfortunate, but the odds, NBA championship odds, I'm just curious, maybe I'm tripping. Is it always automatically whoever won the championship the year before is always the odds-on favorite to repeat, even though NFL, NBA at least, and even MLB, I'm trying to think. In MLB, I can't remember the last time there was a repeat champion. Like I can't imagine in the last decade there's been a repeat champion in any of the 3 major leagues. No. Kansas City, I think, repeated. Yeah, because they're about to do 3-peat. They're about to do the 3-peat when they lost to the Eagles. So Kansas City repeated. Last NFL team before that was.
Did the Dodgers repeat?
That's a good question. I know they won 2, but I don't know if they repeated. They might repeat this year if they didn't.
No, they didn't.
I think the Astros made it to the World Series back-to-back years, but won one and lost one. But yeah, and then NBA, what? Golden State. So I guess there has been some repeat teams in the last decade. But I don't know. Sometimes I'll be wondering, like, is Vegas just lazy? Okay, since they won the championship, they're most likely, because the odds-on favorite to win the Super Bowl this year were the Eagles, which makes a lot of sense because they have a stacked roster. But like, I don't know. It always just seems lazy. Like the Thunder are the odds-on favorite this year. Let me go. I compiled the list of the 10 teams that have the highest odds to win the championship. Oklahoma City, the Denver Nuggets, the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Knicks, the Rockets, Timberwolves, Lakers, Warriors, Magic, Mavericks. And pretty much I don't know. I don't know how to feel about these odds.
They got Cleveland.
Cleveland had the best record in the Eastern Conference last season. And
But didn't lose in the
didn't.
second round?
Yeah, but it's not like they did lose in the second round
But
to
injuries had
Indiana.
them.
No, it wasn't injuries. Indiana was just better. I mean, don't get me wrong. Darius Garland got hurt, but that's not why they lost that series. Darius Garland wouldn't have made a difference. Halliburton was on a mission. So that being said, I don't know, like, I don't know who could beat the Thunder. Like, what team matches up with OKC well enough to knock them off in the West? And I think the one team that was good enough to knock them off from the East, the Pacers, they win 7 games. That was surprising because talent-wise, matchup-wise, that series should have went 5. But OKC, for some reason, they just couldn't put wins together. Honestly, they were just heavily outcoached. Like that's really where it came down to. They were just heavily outcoached in that series. They probably still would have won that series, but that game would have ended the way it did if Halliburton didn't get the Achilles. But Denver over the last like 2 or 3 years have struggled to beat OKC in the regular season. I don't know what is it about the Lakers that keeps them being in the top 10 for championship odds. Like every single season they are that. And I'm like, what are y'all seeing that I don't?
Because it's the Lakers.
Because it's just like LeBron's still gonna put up numbers. Does Luka and LeBron really mesh well together? I mean, they play well, but it's not necessarily winning basketball. So is Luka going to take that next step up? DeAndre Ayton, I don't know who he is. Ever since Giannis blocked that alley in the finals, dude's been MIA. He's like Roy Hibbert. You remember Roy Hibbert was like a double guy, and then out of nowhere he was averaging like 2 points and a rebound as a 7-footer. And it's just like, what the heck? And to this day, I don't know what happened to him. Anybody who hears this podcast, let me know what happened to Roy Hibbert.
2 points.
He was like I am not, those are not exaggerated numbers. There were games where he was playing starter minutes, 30 minutes, getting 2 points and 1 rebound. It didn't make any sense. He was just like, and I heard it was like personal stuff, but I'm like, bro, you 7 feet tall. You should stand still and get 3 rebounds.
A quarter.
like not even reach for the ball. Like just 3 balls should have bounced to you and hit you in the chest. You need like don't make no sense. Anyways, but you know what? Younger Brook Lopez found a way to average 4 rebounds a game. as a 7 footer. So who knows? Maybe rebounding isn't as easy as I think it is. But the Rockets, of course, they got Kevin Durant. They have a big young team with a good coach and Ime Udoka. The Warriors are always going to be in the mix because of Steph Curry. Orlando being a championship contender says a lot. I think you had predicted last season that they were going to make that next step. Um, so good look by you. And the Mavericks, I don't really, they're 30 to 1 odds, so I think that's like a 2% chance that you can win a championship. So it's not like these are like huge odds, but um, who do you think? Who do you think is going to make it out of the West and the Eastern Conference to make it to the finals?
Um, I think it'll be OKC versus New York. I think New York finally gets over the hump.
If the Knicks don't make it to the finals,
Mm,
the team is not structured to win the championship.
mm,
The team, the team that beat you is out. The team that you were built to defeat, which were the champions, they're likely not going to be contending for a title
mm,
in the Boston Celtics. Your only obstacle are the Cleveland Cavaliers, which you match up well with.
mm.
If y'all let Orlando sneak up on y'all, which Orlando is definitely capable of sneaking up on you. Orlando's definitely capable. I don't think they are good enough as of yet, but they're capable. And also remember, they fought tooth and nail and needed a questionable call to beat the Pistons.
Mm.
But it's like, as a Knicks fan, die easy, of course. Do I believe that they're going to make it to the finals? The answer is no. Um, just because Jalen Brunson can get into hero ball mode and Cat doesn't want to be the guy when the pressure's on the line. And maybe, and this, like, people were like, oh, he commits dumb fouls, which he
Mm.
does. And even Charles Barkley had pointed that out. Like, there was like, I think against the Pacers, there was like in the first quarter, he already had 2 fouls. And then he was setting a screen, hit, good screen. He just pushes the guy for no reason. Third foul, you got to come out the game. I'm like, is he doing that because he's tired? Like, yo, man, I need to get out of here, man. I need a break. I need a Kit Kat bar. I'm like,
So he's like, "Cat, grab a Snickers." Why? Because you sound because you sound feminine, or because you fake a New York accent when you're hungry.
so I don't think. Then also the other portion of it is Mike Smith a better coach than Tom Thibodeau? I don't think that they got better at coaching. I
Mike
think it was a
Smith.
lateral move.
You said Mike Smith?
I'm pretty sure that's who got the coaching job.
Say, who the fuck is Mike Smith?
The
He
dude
sounded
who
like the ticket guy at Madison Square
he
Garden.
am I getting his name wrong? He coached the Cavs when LeBron was on the team.
Mike Brown?
Brown, that's what it is.
I'm about to
Um,
say, it's like, isn't that the dude who works the ticket booth at the train station next to Madison Square Garden?
Mike Brown, my fault. So yeah, I think that's a lateral move. I don't think that they necessarily got better. And like I said, and it was clear that he got out coached. But I'm like, when was Mike Brown this fantastic coach, that this coveted game planner that we needed to have? So it's just like, I don't know. I don't know what the Knicks are doing. Maybe things will get better with that, but I personally don't think that they got a better coach. And Jalen Brunson on the hero ball stuff, I don't know. That's never been winning basketball. That's never been winning basketball. So, and also he's a small guy.
Mm-hmm.
Because the guards that have led under small guards that have led their teams to championships, being the best scorer on the team, Isaiah Thomas and Steph Curry, the only ones I can think of off the top of my head. So it's just like, that's never been a recipe for winning either. No matter, and also I hate Knicks fans. They said that Jalen Brunson's a greater Knick than Carmelo Anthony because he went to the conference finals. Oh, Melo didn't go to the conference finals. Okay. I hate Knicks fans. Anyways, my two picks, it's tough. And it's chalky, but I don't see a team that can beat the Thunder coming out of the West. And I don't see a team giving Cleveland a run for their money. But I don't think the NBA wants another small town finals. I don't think the NBA wants that. And the Pacers are proof that there is no script for the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Because they could have done everything to make the Knicks. Because all those games, most of those games were close. Like all the close, you can't like rig a game that's being a blowout, but you can rig it if it's close. They
Yeah.
lost all the close games. Now, you can make a questionable call here and there. They lost all the close games. So it's just like, no, you can't put that on a script. So the Cavs are my leading pick, but yeah, no, I can't because it's two things though. If Embiid and Giannis can stay healthy, both of those teams can make it. Because the East is so much weaker now that the Pacers are out of commission and the Celtics are mostly out of commission. So those are some dark horse teams. Giannis is always going to be my dark horse, just because. But that roster is abysmal. That Bucks roster, that Bucks roster is horrible. There's rumors that he might get dealt by the trade deadline.
Hey,
So
go sign Pat Bev.
yeah, right. Pat Bev needs to stay wherever he is. So the teams that had the odds for or the best records, the highest win totals were OKC at 62 and a half, Cleveland at 55 and a half, Houston at 55 and a half, Denver at 53 and a half, Knicks and Magic at 51 and a half, um, Timberwolves at 50 and a half, and Lakers at 46 and a half. Teams with the worst records: Utah 19 and a half, Wizards 20 and a half, Nets 21 and a half. Who ends up with the worst record in basketball?
My Nets.
I'm going with Utah just because it's Utah.
Look, the
Actually,
Nets.
yeah, with the actually, you know what? I might go with you with the Nets. Mainly because Utah can't afford an abysmal season after what happened in the offseason with Mr. Kirk.
The Nets. They are 5 first rounders, and you couldn't package any of those picks to get a player.
Are draft picks as valuable in the NBA as they are in the NFL?
He said, "Are they as valuable?"
Yeah, I'm curious about that because I know like Danny Ainge was like compiling draft picks. But like if you're not getting like a lottery pick, I don't see why you would deal. Yeah, well, I don't. Yeah, actually, the Nets being as bad as they are, you would think they could because you're going to be picking in the lottery.
Yeah, but even if they have the worst record and they have the best odds, doesn't guarantee them the number one pick either.
Why don't they get? Why doesn't the NBA get rid of that at this point?
Why don't they get rid of it?
Yeah, like.
They don't. They don't.
Well, I guess teams are tanking anyway, so it's just like,
Yeah,
what difference does it make?
yeah. Honestly, yeah. What difference does it make? Because
Because like we put the lottery in to prevent drafting and teams or like preventing teams like rigging their record to get the first pick.
but
Yet
yeah, teams are still doing it.
teams are still doing it to get the chance to get the first pick. So you can't guarantee it to them now at this point.
Yeah, yeah. You might as well just get rid of it and make the let the worst man win.
You remember like there was a big controversy going around the NFL with Brian Flores, and he had said like he was pretty much incentivized to lose games.
Hmm.
Why is it that the NBA doesn't have a scandal like that? Like you remember like Mark Cuban, or not Mark, I don't know if Mark Cuban was still in charge, but the Dallas Mavericks did like tank the last couple games so they can keep their first round pick
Yeah,
in a deal or something that they had. So it's
yeah.
like
So I think it
why
was. Yeah, their first round pick was protected.
yeah, if they were I think if they were a lottery team.
Why don't they get rid of that?
Protected picks, yes. Because then you don't have no incentive to tank if you trade the pick away.
Yeah,
You only have incentive to win. So because yeah, no, you that's the thing they should get rid of.
because it's like, yeah, when you ain't got no reason, it's like, what was the point of making the trade if you're just gonna tank to keep the pick in the first place? You just gave like,
Yeah,
what's the point? And they always
yeah,
got to designate it if it's protected or unprotected. It's like, nah, if you trade the pick, then you're just gonna have to run the risk.
yeah. Because there's no risk to it if you can. Hey, if we pick at a certain spot, we don't have to give it to you. And I mean, what's the rules of that? Like, what happens? if they like, do you just go to the next year or something like that? Like, how's that fair for the team that got the pick?
Yeah, yeah, because it's like it's not like the NFL where um you're the where they have the conditional pick, where it's like, oh, we traded this player for conditional fourth round pick, and it can elevate to a third round pick if these things happen. If these things happen, then it becomes a third. If these things don't happen, then it stays a fourth. Like, why don't they just have that? But I guess it's because of the fact that with the NFL, it's more rounds and more players to be picked than what the NBA would have.
Yeah,
Yeah, because like 5,280 players get drafted, and it seems like the number just keep on going up. But yeah, the NBA only 60, so I get it. But like I said, this protected and unprotected asset thing just don't ever never made sense to me. I understood, and actually no, even when you're trading multiple picks, they can't be on consecutive years unless they came from a different team.
yeah.
Like, what's the point of that? Like, just if you
I
if I,
guess I guess if you're bad, you won't stay bad. I don't know. I don't know why they put. I don't know how long it's been like that and why they put that in. Because I only found out about that a few years ago, so I don't know if that was always a thing.
yeah, because I think it was when the Magic traded for Penny. They they gave up, I think, 93 first round pick and 95 first round pick and 97 first round pick. It was like, wait, what like what? But I mean, what do I know? I just do pest control.
What about best record in the league? Um, OKC again?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
I can see.
yeah. Because again, I don't see nobody knocking them off, and they're 7 wins ahead of the next team projected. Like I don't see nobody knocking them off, and they got a year of experience that they just
Yeah,
won a championship on.
I'm saying they got a big three. I'm playing. They don't have a big three.
I hate that the league is forcing big threes. Chet Holmgren is a good player, and Williams. Am I getting his name wrong, Jim? I'm scared now because I got Mike Brown's name
Because you named an MTA worker instead of.
Yo, Mikey. Yo, Mikey, this guy on the Batum Brothers podcast said your name on this. He's not a real Knicks fan. He don't even know the name of the fucking coach. He called him you instead of calling him Mike Brown.
Wait, are you supposed?
Yo, Mikey. Like
You know
who?
what? I'm going to go ahead and take a break. Like,
Um, all right. Well, dark horse team. Give me a dark horse team. What do you think? You predicted the dark horse team last year correctly. What do you think is going to cause some problems this season? Shake some things up.
each conference,
You know, you could do each conference. It don't matter.
like in the West, no, that wouldn't be a dark horse. Um, In the West, I'll say the Spurs.
Agreed. Agreed.
And
If Wemby can stay healthy, they should take that next step.
yeah. And in the East, I don't know if it's too much of a dark horse. I was gonna say Atlanta.
Yeah, I mean that's dark. That's dark.
So that's dark. So need to pay that electric bill.
Yeah, somebody definitely pay that electric bill.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a black ass horse.
yeah. For me, the West Side completely agree. Um, I think normally I would go like I'm just tired of going with the Pelicans because like I think I did the Spurs last season. But I think I went like Spurs or Pelicans, and I'm like, okay, Zion being in better shape doesn't move the needle for me. I don't think that means they're gonna win more games. Um, because like I don't think anybody in the West has taken a step back. So because the Kings, they took a step back, but they were, you know, the Pelicans didn't step in. So I would say the Spurs definitely one team. The other in the East, man, in the East, I got hope for them. I got hope for them, but the roster around them is so bad. But I'm gonna go with the Bucks. I'm gonna go with the Bucks. Coaching is bad. Roster is bad. There's absolutely no reason why this team shouldn't be picking in the lottery after this season. But if Giannis is on a mission like I think he's gonna be, they can win more games than people think and be a top 14 because of the injuries. I don't think the Celtics are going to take that huge of a hit. They're just not a championship team without Tatum. But I think they're still a playoff team. But yeah, again, this is just a hard pick. Actually, let me not go with my heart. I'm gonna go with Philly. I'm gonna go with Philly.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Philly because Philly makes more sense because they just need, even though like betting on Embiid to stay healthy for 65 games is a hell of a bet in itself. Um, the roster makes more sense that they can be a playoff team than the Bucks. So, like, and when I say playoff team, I mean top eight, not this playing BS that they got now. Like actually make the playoffs, not have a not be a playing team that's 10 seed that happens to make it because of the playing. Um, so let's go down to the awards and then we'll kind of wrap this up.
All right.
All right, so we don't normally do 6 man, so I think we just do MVP, rookie, and DPOY usually, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's start with rookie of the year.
Um, I think it may be Ace Bailey.
Ooh, Ace Bailey. He's trying to mix it up. He did have a really good preseason.
Yeah.
The reason why I think it'll be Cooper Flag is one of those things where it's his award to lose, similar to like when Zion and John Morant came in the league. Like I had picked John Morant to be the rookie of the year, but it was, and I see where you're coming from. Like it was my thinking with John Morant. It was my thinking with Jaden Daniels. Um, where it's like it's this guy's like award to lose, But in Zion, I thought he was going to get injured, which he did. In Caleb, I thought he was. I thought the coaching was going to mess his stuff up, which it did.
Mm.
I don't see anything that would mess up Cooper Flag's opportunities to win.
Now,
So that's why I'm going Cooper Flag, because it's like he has two veterans around him that were elite players at their position and still tops at their positions. They should win a lot of games. We should see him in the playoffs. So unless he don't really even need an average 20 plus points a game. If he can get us what I think he would get as a starter with those two guys, nice little 18 and 6, 18, 6 and 4.
mm,
I even if Bailey has like 22 and 6, I think they're gonna be losing so much that that's not gonna help his case.
got
All
you.
right, you putting up bad numbers. You're putting up great numbers on a horrible team. That doesn't mean anything. Though, but it'll be so that's where I stand with it. That's what I'm not really a Cooper Flag guy. Of course, it's gonna go back to what all my friends be saying, like I don't like Caucasian players, but I think Cooper Flag can play. I just don't think that he's this phenom. That like when I think of phenoms, I think of guys like Zion, like LeBron. He don't do that for me. So he's the white guy who can dance. So um, so I mean, and he's from Maine too. It's like who the heck plays basketball in Maine? Like, where did he find a gym to learn how to play basketball in Maine? So he's overcome a lot of obstacles, but I'm not a huge fan of him right now. Um, but I think he's going to be a good player. I think he's probably more Gordon Hayward than anything else. So he'll be a good player, play in the league for a lot of years if he can avoid injury. But he ain't gonna be this superstar that everybody keeps saying he is. Um, but I think he's gonna be rookie of the year. Uh, Defense player of the year. Who you got?
Um,
I think Evan Mobley won it last year.
yeah, Evan Mobley won it last year. I think Dyson Daniels wins it.
And Dyson Daniels probably should have won it last season.
Yeah.
It's hard to duplicate the steals every year, especially like at the clip that he was doing it at. Like, I remember
Mm,
Thibault. Thibault was like crazy with the steals, and then like since then, I don't know if it's just his role has changed since he's left the 76ers, but he's not like I remember making money on him every game. His over steals total, like
mm,
every game he was going over. But then there's guys like Chris Paul who stayed consistent with his steals for most of his career. What's your SGA, generally nearly 2 steals per game guy. You get those random one offs where it's like, is he a random one off like with Steph Curry or James Harden that lead in steals? You know what I'm saying? Like, but he is a very good defensive player. If he stays healthy, he's Wemby.
mm.
Like bro averaging 5 blocks a game, dog. Like bro averaging 4 or 5 blocks a game. I remember trying to put in a bet for him, and I was like, okay, I'll do a blocks. You know what I'm saying? They set the line at 6.5. I've never seen such behaviors in my life. And he ended up with 6 that game, so it was the under. But I'm like, bruh, there's no reason why this number should be this high, man. He was sending Rainbow Monkey Land and sending shots to Rainbow Monkey Land, dog. So yeah, I think if it's I think Dr. Daniels though is a good pick though, because he defensively he's still even though he might not put up the steals number, he's still a really good defensive player, even if he doesn't get the steals. But it's just like, bruh, 5 blocks a game is tough to beat, yo. 5 blocks a game is tough to beat, man. I already know. I guarantee if I looked at the betting line right now for opening game, it's gonna be at 4.5. I almost guarantee it, man. Spurs opening game for line set at 4.5, bro. Matter of fact, I'm about to look that up. MVP, who you got?
We gonna see a nigga repeat.
Yeah, they have the best record in basketball, and he puts up the numbers he's put up. Like, Jokic is number 2 in the odds, which it makes a lot of sense that he would be. But I don't know. I like. I don't see how anybody can overtake him. I don't see how anybody can overtake. Can overtake SGA because he should have won the year before. He ended up winning it last season. He's only going to be better. Can Jokic put up another season where he's averaging a triple double? And if the win totals turn out to be like fairly accurate, he's not going to have the record and the stats. Michael Porter Michael Porter Jr. is gone. Jamal Murray only plays good against the Lakers now. Russ is gone. Bro. They haven't set the line. They haven't set the line yet. But to record 4 blocks minus 144, to record 5 blocks plus 164. That line is going to be at 4.5 when the season starts, though. On Wednesday morning, I'm going to screenshot it and send it to you. I said, this don't make no sense, man. I've never seen this in my life. I've been betting like that in my life, but I can't imagine Mutombo or Ben Wallace or Dwight Howard. Those are probably the 3 best shot blockers. No, who else? I'm missing somebody. Hakeem Olajuwon. Probably the 4 best shot blockers of my lifetime. I can't imagine they was getting 4.5. That Vegas did not want to risk losing because this guy's gonna get 4 blocks in the game. That don't make no sense, man. Yeah, this season, for me, there's not really a whole lot of like great storylines coming into it. So I know like anybody's listening to this episode, this episode for me feels a little dull because I'm not really excited about this season. I think it's very predictable. I don't think that there's anybody who can knock off the Thunder. I don't think there's anybody who can knock off the MVP. I don't, unless like Wemby makes like this crazy leap, coming off an injury, or like Giannis can have the season for the ages. Like, if he can average like 30, 15, and 5, like he did for like the last few games of the season, like, and he can do that all season, and they're like a top 2 or 3 seed. Um, there's nothing really there for me. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah,
I mean, if the Knicks are winning, I would love it too. Even though, like I'm a Daisy fan, but I'm like, if the Knicks are winning, I would love it. But and they will win. I want to see championships.
if there was any storylines or narratives that were up, the only one that I'd be interested in is, does Giannis does Giannis um last with the Bucks the entire season?
Yeah. See,
That'd
I
be the
think that's
only thing.
when around trade. I think around trade deadline is when y'all gonna probably see us a lot more hyped up about the NBA season versus like at this point because it's just like there's nothing really exciting about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a KD guy, so I'm not excited about the Houston Rockets. As y'all know, I'm a KD hater on this podcast. Um,
Yeah, they just had an episode of that 1 versus 10 thing. Yeah, it was KD fan versus 10 KD haters.
oh, why? I wish I would have been on that.
It's always the same old people.
Oh, it's the same people that just do the thing.
Yeah, it just seemed like it's the same old people on the same panels all the goddamn time.
Mm. Well, people need. I need to start hitting up these platforms or something. Send them some of our takes and be like, "Yo, y'all want to debate? Hit the brothers up." Mainly me because I actually engage in it more than Zero does. Zero be like, "All right, dog, I'm gonna just
It was like, you got it.
let you believe what you're gonna believe." And then at the end of the season, when I'm right and you wrong, I'm just gonna. I know I ain't gonna get no apology, and I ain't like Lando who's gonna keep demanding until he gets it.
Dude, I'm not even gonna say I told you so. It's like, yeah, let the result speak for itself.
Shoot, speaking about results, man, my predictions for the NFL season is looking horrible. Some of my dark horse teams looking straight pathetic. Friggin' the Raiders getting beat 31-0. I'm like, God dang.
Cardinals are 2-4, and Kyler isn't gonna start the next game.
Is he hurt or they just benched him?
No, he's hurt.
Dang.
So I need to trade for James Winston.
We had to watch we had to watch a geriatric. We had to watch matter of fact, they're 2 quarterbacks who are probably Hall of Famers who only won 1 Super Bowl. Both around the same age. Crazy. Anyways, yeah, that wraps it up for this episode. Zero, what's your party shot?
My parting shot is this NFL trade deadline. Jacksonville, y'all better get some people. Cause all off season, James Gladstone was always saying that he was looking for players that were intangibly rich. But it sounds like intangibly rich is code for not very talented either. So I'm it's like I don't give a like
We need talent, dog. Forget everything else you're talking about.
I'm saying it's like intangibly rich. We need players that are rich in talent.
Exactly.
It's like I don't, because it's like because because you can't get, if you don't have enough talented players on your roster, you're not going to go too far. You're gonna find yourself in 3 years looking for another job.
Yeah.
Talk about that same intangibly rich shit. No, we need niggas that are rich in talent. And this trade deadline better be you better show something because you need to be rich in something else instead of intangibles. Now we need to tangibly win if that's what you were going to do. It's like my thing is I would give it a pass because it's their first year. But dog, sometimes it's just games that you can't avoid losing, and then there's games that you really need to win, and you.
Yeah, especially the Colts are looking like crazy good right now. So I'll never apologize for calling Daniel Jones buns aplenty, but he is no longer buns aplenty, at least not this year. Everybody was saying he might be the Sam Darnold this year, and that's exactly what he is. Don't make no damn sense. Um, Once again, I'm way off on the AFC South. I literally went 0-4 in that division last year, and it's looking like that this year. Oh, I can't buy nothing from them. My parting shot, Layla Ali. I don't care. Boxing fans don't care about your beef with Clarissa. You said you were gonna knock her out. You also said you were in shape and you can knock her out even in this late stage of your life. Just for you to put out a 10-minute video talking about how the beef started, except for telling the people what they really want to know. And of course, I had this conversation with the Duchess, who is a Clarissa Shields hater. And she was like, "Oh, I guess clearing your name is saying nothing." Yes, it is, because nobody cared about why they were beefing. We all heard, or like where it all started. We all heard you say you could knock her out, and she called you out, and then then you said you could knock her out even now, and she really started pressing you and then you said I would come back if somebody gave me 15-20 million dollars to fight. She came out with that, and then you waited months to respond back to her. We don't care. Layla, if you're gonna be a mom and a chef, tell the world that. Tell the world that's not I'm retired. I'm done. You need Clarissa, because if she says that and she keeps talking, Clarissa keeps talking, it's the point that you're making that she's trying to clout chase the Ali name.
Mm-hmm.
But no, you're giving these little things and not saying anything. And I'm a huge fan of Clarissa Shields as a boxer. Don't really care much about her personal life. I think she's an idiot in that portion of it. But I shouldn't say she's an idiot. She's naive in that portion. Or who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. But I don't care. Are you going to face her off in the ring? As a Clarissa Shields fan, I do believe Layla Ali in her prime beats Clarissa down.
Mm-hmm.
Layla Ali today gets beat pillar to post. The woman hasn't fought since 2005, and she's in her late 40s. That young girl's and Clarissa is a high volume puncher. That girl is gonna be stinging you like a bunch of bees. Float like just like your dad used to say, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. You gonna get stung a lot. That's a swarm coming after you. So yeah, no, you're not gonna be able to keep up. You might get a punch, a lucky punch in and drop her because she's been dropped before. But Layla, you don't stand a chance against that young girl right now. So just end it. Look, I said what I said. Clarissa took it where Sugar Ray Leonard said he could beat Floyd Mayweather. You didn't see Floyd be like, "Oh yeah, well let's fight." So there is some clout chasing involved. I do believe Layla when it comes to that. But we don't care. Either you getting in the ring, which you said you was gonna let us know if you're gonna do it, and then didn't do it in a whole 10-minute video. You wanted to clear your name. We didn't ask for your name to be cleared. We asked if you were gonna fight. I saw the videos, these teaser videos you were doing, and everybody was in your comment section asking if you were gonna fight. Nobody asked how this started. So Layla, as a great American philosopher, Dr. Umar Johnson said, 10,000 lashes. 10,000 lashes for that behavior. Anyways, that's it for us. Thank y'all so much for watching. If you're watching us on YouTube, listening, if you're listening on any podcast platforms, and if you like the episode, please like, comment, and share it on wherever you share on social media, and give us a shout and let us know how we did, man. Thank you so much for listening to the Between Brothers podcast. We'll see you next week.
Look at me.
I can't stop crying. Oh man.